Hello! As you know, I just bought a NURGLE Vanguard box and I always wanted to have a thematic army, and today is the day. I present you the first official series in this YouTube channel, which will be NURGLE in the Jungle. The aim of this series is to have a fully painted 1000 points army and also some terrain features that matches this theme. I will of course guide you through this demoniac process. The beginning. This thematic army comes from nowhere. One day, while I was painting, an idea came into my mind. What if I made an army scheme that rhymed with his name? My brain, used to unlikely situations like this one, started processing until I found the ultimate one. NURGLE in the Jungle. It instantly made sense. Life had a new purpose, and chaos needed to be followed. And this is where it all began. Only I could answer this call, and work had to be done. Now that I chose a paint scheme, a story started creating itself. What if NURGLE, the only one, heard that something happened in his holy garden and sent a team to see what it was? I don't know anything about NURGLE background, but it sounded like something that could actually happen. This part of the garden would be like jungle, with lots of weird things. And the weird things could actually be terrain features that I'm going to build in this series. The plan was finally created. Now that everything is in place, we can actually start. I wanted to begin with my blightkings. I primed them in black and did a zenithal highlight with an off-white. The zenithal is quite helpful for the first light blue coat that we're going to use. This is what it looks like after priming. I'm now going to take the light blue, which is just blue mixed with white, and apply it on the arms and the ends. It doesn't really matter if you're messy at this step. I needed to apply a few thin coats, I think it was 3 thin coats, and then I took my light blue and added lots of water to get a wash consistency and applied it on the arm. This is mainly to increase the darkness in the deepest spot. Take your time with this step. We don't need to rush it. After this, you just highlight your arm and ends with the first mix of white and light blues that you have on the top area. Then you're going to work on the wood. So I'm taking dark chocolate brown from Vallejo and apply it on the wood stick from the axe, from both axes. I try to be careful around the end because I don't want to redo the light blue work that we just did. And then we're just going to highlight it. You just need to add white to this dark chocolate brown and apply it all over the wood, but let some area darker. You need to take your time for this step. Then you're just going to take light brown and repeat this step again, and you should cover less and less area every time. I did this with a bone tone as well, and this is the end result. Then we're going to take our metallics and apply it all over the miniature. I'm using gunmetal from Vallejo because I really like it. It's really easy to put on the miniature. and it covers really well. I find this paint really interesting because you can also mix it with inks, and it's super satisfying to get like a orange metal or blue, silvery blue. So when this is done, it looks like a shiny dude. We're just going to wash it with black. I take Abaddon black and use lots of water to dilute it, and I also add some matte varnish to it. But if you have known oil, you can also use it. So I load my brush and put it on the miniature. For the skin work, you're going to take violet, any violet will do, and mix a bit of red inside, and you're just going to apply it where the wounds of the warriors are. Tap it inside the wounds with a diluted paint. It will be easier. So I repeat this step 1 or 2 times until I get a finish that I actually like. And if you want better finish, you can actually glaze your paint. Then I'm taking a brighter magenta and do the same steps, covering every time a smaller area. And I finish it with an off-white. I just dab some paint around the wound. We should probably go back to the armor at this point. I'm doing another wash. This time I'm not submerging the miniature, I'm just applying it precisely where the armor looks quite damaged. This paint job is really easy and looks really good, I think. You will see at the end. For the axe, it's exactly the same thing. Try to be as precise as possible for this step. And if you want to do many washes, you can. We're now going to work on the leather. So take the dark brown chocolate and apply it over, I don't know what it's called, the bands. It's not its bands, like cloth, the cloth material. And I add red to this dark brown chocolate for the handles. Now that the cloth is now dry, we're just going to take light brown and highlight our dark brown chocolate. And we're slowly getting up better and better highlights to increase the contrast. Now that it's dry, we're just adding some white and pink and a bone tone to finish it. And I finish it off by glazing some deep red. For the handles, just take pink and try to be precise and paint the edges of the handles, of the strap handle. For the horn, I took a bone tone and base coated with it, and then I'm just taking my ink, it's sepia ink from Vallejo, and glazing it over and over and over. I'm just copying the Vince Ventrella technique, so I'm going to link it in the description below. It's a really effective technique, really easy, but it takes a bit of time. It takes time only because it's like it needs to dry a lot, because you just apply inks over and over and over again, and then you're just going to make a few lines with an off-white. For the armors, I'm now going to damage it with some orange to mimic the rust on it. So I'm just dabbing some orange all over the miniature, the armor. And you can also do an orange wash. This is what I'm doing right now on the part that you want to be
even more rusty. And if it's too bright, just mix it with brown or the dark brown chocolate that we already used. It will look less rusty. For the base, so I'm taking air drying clay, mix it with water and white glue, PVA glue. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm just mixing it and just mix it. Like it took me about 5 to 10 minutes to do this step. And when it's done, it should look something like this, where it's not breaking every time you press it. You can now take a few bits and add it to the base and sculpt it as you like. We don't really care at this point, it's a creative moment. So I took this weird shape, I don't really know why. Take your miniature and apply it, like press it against the clay so you will know where the feet are. I also used some resin bits. The plants are from Goodmaster, I think. I think it's from Goodmaster. I will link it in the description. Anyway. So I clean the parts and I will just plant. I will plant the plant on the base. I take them and press it inside the clay and use some super glue to be sure that they don't move around. And this is the result I got after like 20 minutes. Now it's time to add some texture paste to the base, so just apply it everywhere but on the plants. It's quite easy. Now it's time for priming, so I prime them in black. And time for painting. So take a reddish brownish color, which is quite dark, and apply it on the ground. I use a wash consistency for all my ground paintwork. So I also add green and try to wet blend it. I will also add blue, magenta, purple, cyan, like colors that you like, and add them bits by bits and like dab them on the miniature, on the bases, sorry. It's alright if you're messy. We will paint the leaf afterwards, so this step took approximately 5 or 6 minutes without drying time because it's not drying. You can see the paint mixing together. And by the way, this is a real in-depth tutorial, so tell me if you like this format in the comment section down below. I think it's going to be the only one like which will be so in-depth for this series, because all of the miniature painting process will be mostly the same as this one. The next part is to dry brush some off-whites onto the base. And you see that we've got a really interesting ground texture, color and texture, thanks to these methods. And when this is done, I wash some colors again with some orange, some green. And now we can start working on the leaf. So what I like to do is I will always paint them white first, because I really want bright colors. So it's going to be easier to work with white instead of black. My jungle needs to be really jungly. I don't know if I can say this in English. Anyway. And so for the leaves, it's quite easy. You just take your colors, bright ones if possible, and apply them So I did an orange base coat for the big one. And also green and blue and cyan. And you can try to wet blend it with other colors. Exactly the same steps than the ground, but for the leaves. And if you don't wet blend them, you will highlight it with white. So mix your color, your base color with white and add it to the sides of your plant. My aim is not to make them look real, but just to make the base pops out from the miniature and from the table. For the big one, I have a lot of small roundy dots inside the leaves, so I just painted them with magenta. And for the leaf plants, I took enough white and mixed it with yellow and lime green, and I slowly did an highlight. I also tried to highlight the middle of them, so the shape is easier to define with your eyes. Everything that I do for the plants, I just repeat these steps over and over and over again. Lastly, I painted the rim in black to finish this paint job. You just need to now, just have to glue your miniature to the base, and it's done.
And let's go for the reveal. Woo! This project is really fun to make and I'm super hyped about it, and I hope you are also. If you want to know more about the process and if you want to follow it step by step, I have my Instagram link in the description, and I try to post almost every day. I will try to post almost every day where I am with this project or any projects that I'm working on currently. And by the way, if you have any suggestion, don't forget to post it in the comment section below. I will be glad and happy to read it, because I don't have every terrain feature settled yet. So if your idea is a good one, I can actually build it. Who knows? For the next episode, we'll try to find hidden treasures in NURGLE's garden. Anyway, I hope that you are as hyped as I am for this project. Don't forget to like the video and to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Over.